the Dominican Republic, a country near Haiti known for its amazing landscape and beautiful features, like the Pico Duarte and its iconic beaches. It's also got a unique, strong, and deep history like no other. Let's begin with the starting point of that history, the reign of Trujillo. After Trujillo found himself in power, there was a terrible dictatorship. Trujillo's rule of 31 years brought death and disharmony to so many in the Dominican Republic. He was building a cult of personality around himself even back in the 30s, and he convinced Congress to change the name of the capitals, the cities, the provinces, even natural landmarks like the mountain of Pico Duarte, and a whole lot of other smaller name changes too. Statues, newspapers, electric signs, and so much else was built in his honor. Seeing that change in their country wasn't going to come naturally, the people of the Dominican Republic decided to seize it and enact it for themselves. On May 30th, General Antonio Imbert and 6 other men caught Trujillo and blocked his car. Trujillo's body was left sprawled on the highway, with it later taken to someone's house where the cops eventually got it. This event, although necessary for the Dominican Republic to free itself, would have terrible repercussions. Following his death, the Dominican Republic underwent political instability even before the Civil War. Joaquin Balaguer, who had been named president before, started democracy measures and stopped Trujillo's family from gaining power. However, he was disposed in a coup from the military, but his governing council did survive and they pushed out a new constitution. This led to the country's first democratic election, with Juan Bosch winning the election. He then started doing major reforms, including limiting the military, workers' protection, plantation estates, and reducing the Catholic Church. This set of reforms was very progressive, but it was unfortunately short-lived. In September 25th, the military, angered that its powers had been reduced, couped Bosch and removed him from power. Reid Cabal was put in his place. This new government was very impactful, using brutal tactics that even caused the civilian junta to step down. However, seeing that this protest did not work, the supporters of Bosch's government eventually took up arms to restore him. On April 24th, the revolt broke out. A group of civilians seized a radio station and army bases, announcing their intent to bring Juan back into power. Him, living in nearby Puerto Rico, prepared to head back. However, a powerful opposition force announced they would not accept this and began fighting back, which officially began the Dominican Civil War, with 2 factions, the Constitutionalists and the Loyalists. The fighting resumed like this for a few days until the CIA thought there were communists in the Dominican Republic armies. This terrified the U.S. High Command, who thought Bosch was a potential ally to Fidel Castro and didn't want a second Cuba. The president later gave the order for 22,000 U.S. Marines to invade, landing on April 28th, supported by the OAS. These troops were mostly neutral and helped to calm things down. However, they did deploy in a way that aided the Loyalists and harmed the rebel movements. Fighting continued until September 3rd, 1965, where a ceasefire was declared, leading to the formation of a provisional government which elected Joaquin Balaguer, who defeated Bosch. After these elections, the withdrawal of the US and OAS troops began, with the final unit leaving on September 21st, 1966, which allowed the Dominican Republic to stabilize itself, although there were things like political killings. After the events of the Dominican Civil War, many people thought many different things about what happened in 1965. Some Dominicans say they believe the American forces helped prevented further fighting, while others thought they made it worse. Some say the intervention led to a polarization of Dominican society, responsible for political killings. Some people also thought the presence of troops radicalized people, with that being somewhat true, as Juan Bosch was radicalized. Other key figures, such as Joaquin, are quoted as saying it opened the road to democracy, while others, as Elias Wesson, thought the CIA made a mistake in invading the country and no American lives were in danger. Another significant figure, Donald Reed, thought it was an overreaction with positive results. To the supporters of Juan Bosch's party, the intervention stopped democracy and many unfair elections came. They also recalled the years under Ballinger as years of oppression which Ballinger denied. In 2016, the Organization of American States decided to apologize for their occupation of the Dominican Republic. No matter what you believe, it's clear the Dominican Civil War changed Dominican history forever.